Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gifted Podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm here with my co-host.
Leo, what's good, people?
And sorry that we didn't upload on Friday, but I don't know what happened with that. But we're gonna upload today. We're gonna upload today. Today being Saturday, and I'm gonna let my host start it off. He said he wanted to start off, so.
Which is fine. We'll make this like a little special edition because of what we're talking about today. And I'll start it off with talking about one of me and my co-hosts favorite like sports and things to watch. Formula One. It was on its winter break. It ended back in December, and it just started up this weekend. There was free practice 1, 2, and 3. Qualies or my bad qualies today, and we have the Bahrain Grand Prix tomorrow, 9 a.m. for us. I don't know what time that is for them. Probably like 6-7 p.m. for them, something like that over there. But yeah, that's what we wanted to discuss today. Let me ask my co-host, who are you looking forward to watching this season, and like what team or what drive?
All right. So I've been a Red Bull fan for the past couple seasons, and I'm ready to switch it up because Red Bull is freaking insane, and they're probably going to win this season again, to be honest. But I'd like to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing McLaren because I really do like Lando Norris, and I don't know what Oscar Piastri can do yet, but. Today his qualifying was low-key trash, but you know what? So was Pierre Gasly's and other dudes. And also another team that I'm looking forward to is Aston Martin. Obviously, them get Vettel retiring and them landing Fernando Alonso, and Fernando Alonso having like a career resurgence as of lately. He's been very exciting, and honestly, I'm so hyped to look at him. And then like my favorite racer this season is probably gonna be Fernando Alonso. I mean, he's just a funny guy. And he's like a veteran, well-respected. I'm looking forward to him. Like, honestly, obviously you still got the Mercedes, who's like still going to be like probably 2 or number 3 car on the grid. Ferrari, obviously, still pretty good. Mm-hmm. Who knows if they fix their car this season? And obviously Red Bull looked insane today, so there was that.
Yeah, so I remember when I was watching qualies today, they were talking about that they did adjustments to last season. You know how last season they had to go through all those changes with the cars, to make them more like, I don't know, competitive would be the word, but like bunch the group up so it's not like someone's ahead by like 60 seconds on the grid, like P1 to P2. So they adjusted the ride heights again, like, and they did a bunch of other things. They like bigger mirrors. I think they did like bigger things for the cars, different rules. Then they've been keeping the stewards have been watching really like closely to the lines. They were calling left and right, like just erasing lap times today and qualies, because it's like it's
a huge problem.
Yeah, and it's like in every sport, like in football, basketball, soccer, they all have those out of bound lines, and F1 isn't different. But they started reinforcing that rule. Basically, you're gonna have like 3 tires out the line as long as one is still in. But a lot of drivers try to take advantage of that and try to squeeze by with, getting all 4 tires off. It just because it'll kind of give them a little bit of advantage where they don't have to brake fully, and then they can gun it, give it the beans and then and push out, and we'll have a better lap time. Well, the stewards have been really, really keeping an eye on all those, and they were they were racing lap times left and right today, which is very important for where you start on the grid from either P1 to P20. But yeah, they were doing a bunch of stuff to the cars, and I guess they got rid of like the porpoising problem, like where the cars are like bouncing up and down type of thing, and that was also really good for the drivers. As far as for me, Red Bull, yeah, we're Mexican, and we support our fellow driver Sergio Perez, Checo, and he's doing good. He got P2, so he'll start on 2 on the grid tomorrow, right behind his partner in Red Bull, the current defending world champion Max Verstappen. He's going for a 3-peat, which is very possible unless other people can have something to say about that, Checo included. It seemed like he really has gotten his stride with Red Bull. This is his third year with them. So I really think he's getting his stride with them and adjusting to the car fairly well. El Plan, Fernando Alonso was looking.
El Plan is for Ferrari.
Ferrari? Oh, really?
Yes.
Bro, I heard them call him that. My bad. Well, anyways, Fernando Alonso with Aston Martin was looking actually really speedy out there. I think he had to do something with the tires why he didn't get higher. But either way,
Aston Martin has a crazy car this year.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they're saying too is they put him finally in a car that can compete compared to like where he was with Alpine last year. You know, he had a lot of like power box issues and just basically issues with the cars, not his driving, that would cause him to be dropping out of the race and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So now he has a really good car. He can be competitive. And, look forward to him. Of course, I'm still a big Lewis head with Mercedes. I don't know. It probably will be a toss-up for me still with Checo and with Lewis Hamilton this season. But I am looking forward to those lower teams to see what they can do. I know you mentioned Lando Norris. They got also Sargent with Williams.
Yeah.
He's with them.
Didn't finish last this time. Well, the Williams didn't finish last this time around. Surprisingly, they actually finished like in the middle of the second half, which is not bad for the Williams either because they've been like 19 and 20 for the past couple of years. Obviously, they were carrying around lifeless Nicholas Latifi for a couple of years, and then obviously with Michael Schumacher getting dropped, they picked up Nico Hülkenberg, who's pretty freaking good, and they also got Kevin Magnussen, and I think Hülkenberg. I think he was 10.
You got P10?
Yeah, 10. That's really good for his first race back in like a long time.
I think it was
9 years?
10 years, something like that.
Yeah, that's really good for the Haas. And Haas is an American team, if you didn't know. So, I mean, if you're want to support an American team, then go for Haas. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to the season. I think this season will be a more competitive one, hopefully, because last year Max Verstappen absolutely destroyed the entire grid. Like won by 200 points. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and then Lewis Hamilton did not pick up a single win last year, marking it the first time in his career he does not win a race. And it was just wild. I think George Russell's looking to have a phenomenal season this year. I think Carlos Sainz is looking to improve, obviously. Charles Leclerc, they just need to put more trust in him, and he needs to trust his team as well. Mm-hmm. And then Lance Stroll having an absolute monster qualifying after being out for a long time with whatever injuries he had, came out tonight, freaking on his qualifying, managed to pull it together, have a top 10 finish. Yeah, I think I'm looking more forward to the season than last season. Even though I did watch most of the races last season, this season I want to keep up with every race.
Yeah. It's definitely worth the watch. If you guys have ESPN, you can tune in and watch it there. Or ESPN2. And most races are all in the morning because they race on the other side of the world. Yeah. For the most part, there is 3 Grand Prix now in the United States compared to when they just had 1. Now they have the Miami.
North America, right?
Yes. I don't think they have one in Canada yet.
Do they not have one in Canada?
I want to say they don't, but they have the Austin Grand Prix, which is the Race of the Americas. That's like the United States Grand Prix. Yeah. But, whether it be for money, whether it be for whatever, but they added 2 new ones, and that is the Miami Grand Prix. Which,
they had the Miami ones too?
Yeah, they had the Miami Grand Prix and the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And so you have the Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. And then you have the Mexico City one right after.
Yeah. Hey,
so,
if you don't mind me asking, what's your favorite race of the season?
I don't know which I'm looking forward to the most. Maybe Monaco?
That's what I was going to think.
I was going to say maybe Monaco.
Monaco's always fun, but it's probably the more boring race of the season.
But it's historic.
Yeah.
It means...
I say it's boring because the person that gets pole position is the most likely the winner because the streets are so narrow and the car's getting wider. The car that gets a pole position is very hard to pass. So, if Max Verstappen, for instance, to get pole on Monaco, everyone would chalk it up as a win for Max immediately. But, I mean, I'm looking forward to, obviously, I love watching the Mexican Grand Prix, obviously. To see if Checo can finally win it in Mexico, that would be really cool. I do really enjoy Spa. Spa is one of my favorite ones. It's the first race after the first break they have, and that's the one I like watching. And yeah, dude. Other than that, I do like watching Abu Dhabi, and like of course the last ones are very good as well.
Last like Baku.
Baku, yeah, I think it might be Baku.
No, I don't know. It could be, or maybe Abu Dhabi.
I think it's Abu Dhabi.
But Baku's around. I don't know if it's, but it's around that area.
Yeah, it's around around the end of the seasons when it gets pretty good. Hopefully this season's close like it was in 2020 or 2021, was it? When Lewis and Max were like tied.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. Hopefully we get like another season like that. Obviously not with the same ending, but yeah, that'd be cool. Are you ready to move on from Formula One, or you still want to ask for another question?
No, I'm ready to move on from Formula One. We can discuss topics like this, or even like maybe tomorrow after the race. Just to give our thoughts about what we saw. Maybe somebody got screwed, but they're very exciting. A lot of people don't watch Formula One, but they might watch NASCAR. But Formula One is just faster, and the opening laps.
Yeah, the opening laps are
the opening laps. Oh my goodness, that's where all the action happens, and that's where all like if there's any contact and crashes, that's where they happen. Everybody's fighting for position to pull forward, and 20 cars going down the grid at whatever kilometers an hour. It gets very, very exciting. But yeah, we can go ahead and move on. So the next thing I wanted to touch up on was, did you see the whole John Morant thing?
Yeah.
It's sad to see. This is what, third, fourth year in the league, something like that. It's like everyone's like, yeah, we miss the rookie or sophomore John Morant because he was all about like ball, he was all about basketball, and it seemed as of late like I don't know if like what's going on, or if it was like trying to be thuggish or whatever. But but he's kind of throwing his career away in like to a sense, being accused of flashing guns on on lives or assaulting minors. That's kind of a good way to lose sponsorships and contracts. We've seen where things like this can get you, with as far as fights and losing sponsorships and being what was the word I'm trying to think of, whenever they suspend you for games and stuff like that, like Malice in the Palace and stuff like that. But hopefully, John Morant kind of figures out I know he issued an apology, but hopefully he kind of figures out, ways to get better before they get worse for him, because they have it good. Mm-hmm. It's like, I know a lot of comments I see, it's like he's like one of the first players that wants to go from the NBA to the hood, mm-hmm. which they're all funny, right? But it's sad at the same time, because you're like, come on, man. Like, you don't need to be doing stuff like that. You already made it. You're at a good spot where people would want to be making that kind of money. Don't throw that stuff away. But that's what I had to talk about. As far as basketball, LeBron out for a couple weeks still, I think.
Oh, yeah. Dude, New York Knicks 8-game winning streak. Let's go. We beat Boston, Miami. Bro, we beat some hard teams in this freaking run. And I think the Knicks are like a top 5 team right now in the whole NBA. If they were in the West, they'd be the 2 seed. But since we're in the East, we're the 5 seed, because the East is much better than the freaking West. The West sucks. And then it's funny, my brother being a Lakers fan, the Lakers are like the 11 seed, fighting for a play-in spot with having like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook most of the season, and they're absolutely garbage. It's so funny. I hope they don't make the playoffs. I swear. I hope LeBron, whatever, even though LeBron's hurt, I do love LeBron. Dude, like, bro, just retire, dog. Honestly. Dude, just retire, bro. Or just leave the Lakers, bro. The Lakers has been an awfully ran organization since Kobe left, because obviously Kobe retired and then passed away shortly. Rest in peace. But yeah, dude, the Lakers are garbage. The Clippers, since acquiring Russell Westbrook, have not won a game. That's funny as hell.
All the comments are like, you guys see what we're talking about? As a Lakers fan, so you see what we're talking about? No hate to Russ. I don't want to hate on Russ. You know what I mean? The triple-double machine, and people might say, stat padding, but that's like very very difficult thing to do, and he averaged a triple double for a season, and like 2 seasons. It's just slander, but. With LeBron, I think he won't retire. Of course, I think he's like more open to leaving the Lakers.
Yeah, like I do still agree LeBron is really good, but he's just not that guy no more. Sadly,
I'm like
38. Yeah, exactly. He's old, so there's no reason to try to defend how good he is. Like we all know how good he is. He's just not that guy anymore. He sadly isn't. Giannis is an example of that guy. Jason Tatum is another example of being that guy. Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic are all examples. I watched the Mavericks game versus the 76ers. I watched freaking how good the Mavericks can just be all of a sudden. Like they'll be like tied, and then all of a sudden they'll just jump out to a 30-point lead and they lose that lead very quickly. But Kyrie Irving's a freaking microwave, man. He goes out there and he'll drop 40 like it's nothing. Yeah. I watched him. He plays so smooth, so good. Kyrie Irving is still that guy. I mean, Luka Doncic, what can you not say about him? The best ball handler probably in the whole league. And having like one of the greatest handles of all time in the same team. And I think they've made it work really well because like other teams would be like, nah, you can't have two dominant ball handlers, but both of them are still like elite scoring machines, like they have really good playmaking. And not only that, Kyrie's defense is underrated. I think his perimeter defense is very good. And Luka Doncic, I mean, he's a big body. So what's there not to do? Huh?
I'll take right now for you. I'm gonna put you in a spot. Who's your favorite for the championship?
Favorite for the championship? The New York Knicks, baby. If we keep up this winning streak, I think we can win it all. And there's not like a really solid favorite, I feel like, in the NBA. Because like the Nuggets are good, but they often don't do good in 7-game series. I mean, last year they made it to the Western Conference Finals and got outdone by Stephen Curry and the Warriors. Yeah. And then Stephen Curry's been playing pretty well recently, but I mean he was injured for a while. I don't know. I just think the Knicks are on an unbelievable run right now. We do got Jalen Brunson, who is the Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Mm-hmm. Julius Randle, who's been putting up like 40-point games like it's absolutely nothing. RJ Barrett has been freaking finally showing up. Emmanuel Quickley, amazing off the bench. Mitchell Robinson is finally back, our defensive anchor. He's been gone for most of the season. He got back. We've been winning, and then yes, he's the head coach, the defensive machine. Our team. The Knicks are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and not only that, they've been on an insane offensive tear. And then, maybe Melo sucks. Melo's old. He's garbage.
How about this? Who do you want to win, and who do you think will win?
Well, I mean, I've been a Knicks fan my whole life, so it would be awesome to see the Knicks at least make it to the second round. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Who realistically will win? I think Bucks are obviously a huge favorite. The Suns, since acquiring Kevin Durant, is freaking nasty. But, I mean, I do realistically see a world where the Knicks win a championship. That'd be cool. I mean, since acquiring Josh Hart, we've been 8-0, which is good for us. But, I mean, realistically, the Milwaukee Bucks are, like, on a 17-game winning streak, which is freaking ridiculous. Yeah. One of the highest win streaks in NBA history right now, and they don't look like they're going to lose anytime soon.
Wait, who's on a 17-game win streak?
The Milwaukee Bucks. You know that? 17 games in a row they've won. And Chris Middleton was injured for most of those games. And they still won them all.
To Miami Heat, they have one of the highest ones.
They went
27 games in a row.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Warriors went on like a 29-game winning streak in 2016. And they lost. The Cowboys. Exactly. So, I mean, these win streaks, they matter so much in regular season. I think the Bucks are one of the best regular season teams. That being said, also the Nuggets are one of the best winning regular season teams. But in the playoffs, I think it comes down to like the Warriors. A healthy Warriors will take on anybody in a 7-game series. Another team like Boston is really good in the playoffs. I think Philadelphia can have a good chance. The Clippers, they just need to like put it together. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. They got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, two of the best two-way players in the NBA history, and they somehow just still lack on defense and offense. It's sad. But yeah, I hope the Clippers can put something together. Maybe the Grizzlies can actually like get their act together and start winning games instead of trying to be thugs on the court. And Shannon Sharp doesn't have to go out there and kick their ass. That'd be cool.
I mean, realistically, I would really like the Lakers to win. Give LeBron another chip.
It's not gonna happen.
I don't think it will happen I don't think it'll happen this season. I don't realistically in the real world, I don't think LeBron will win another championship. But I know he's gonna hold on. He's gonna stack and continue his legacy with the points. You know, he holds right now, and he's still adding on to the most points in the regular season. You know, and then like I said, just cementing his legacy and being able to play with the son Bronny. You know, I think right after that first season with Bronny, he'll retire. Yeah. Realistically, yeah. I mean, he'll be 40 something. He has nothing to prove, nothing left to prove. He's done, and everybody knows that. He knows that. I'm sure he does. But yeah, I mean, I think if he has any chance, it would be if he was, you know, I guess they call him like ring chasers, or like would be like a Durant move or some shit, or he actually just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go to the Warriors."
Bro, but Phoenix is.
No, Phoenix is loaded, bro. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. Like, how in the hell is that fair? You know what I mean? If they can make it work, and which I think they can, but if they can make it work, they're gonna disassemble every team they go against. You know what I mean? I think any team in the NBA, including the Bucks, Celtics, Knicks, Nuggets, will have a tough time. Because they could be like, you know, whatever, put your, like, they might not play so much defense or might not be the best on defense. I don't know if they are right now, but they will outscore you.
The reason I think the Knicks are a strong favorite is because not only do they have like a really solid defensive team, I think in general they have like one of the best rotations in the whole league. Like, their whole team is like actually good, like good enough to get playing minutes. Like at the Phoenix Suns, I could not name you a single player off their bench. I couldn't.
They give up a lot of pieces too.
Yeah, the Suns gave up a lot of pieces, but they got Kevin Durant, so that's like worth it, 100%. I mean, the Phoenix Suns made it to the finals. Was it 2 years ago? And I called it that the Bucks would win in 6, even after they were down 0-2. I knew that the Bucks would win the championship from the first round that year because I was like, yeah, no one's stopping Giannis that year. But yeah, dude.
It was his year.
Yeah, it was his year. He won Defensive Player of the Year, he won MVP, Finals MVP. He like first team All NBA. That was like the best singular season I've ever seen a player have, and that was ridiculous. That was like Michael Jordan-esque type season. I think he had. That was ridiculous. And obviously Nikola Jokic probably going to be the MVP this year, even though he's not like the most spectacular player you'll see. He's efficient as hell.
They're still my favorite. The Nuggets are still my favorite out the West.
They're the only good team out the West.
Yeah, I mean they're number 1 seed right now. No, but
be on the rise.
You know, that's why I'm saying, like, we're talking about, you know, if the Maps can figure things out with you know, better with Irving and Luka, that's just straight up like, what a backcourt. That's disgusting.
What a backcourt, but their defense is still incredibly lacking.
Yeah, and it's where everybody else has to pick up the slack. And you know, I've seen the Mavericks blow leads. They lost that one to the Lakers. You know, like 27-point lead that they had, and they blew it. So. But that's what I'm saying, when they figure out, you know, not even just the combinations of these new players that happened before the trade deadline ended, but, you know, everybody getting their act together, and they will clean up and, you know, really start being the teams that will make it far are the ones that will clean up their act and get efficient, you know, now, because before they know it, the postseason's coming, you know, the playoffs, and, you know, then you start going to 7-game series where there's no room for error. You know, if you lose the first game, who knows if you can make it back into the series. And everybody wants to have, you know, the home field advantage, you know, home court advantage on those. I think it's if you're in the top 4, no? I think it's top 4 you get home court.
Top 4 you get the first game at home. And game 7 is at your home too, if it goes that far.
And the play-in tournament, is that 8 through 12 or is that 5 through 12?
I think it's like 6. Was it 6?
It's something like that. It could be 6. I'm not really a big fan of the play-in tournament.
I'm not, because it gives teams like the Lakers a chance to make the playoffs.
And yeah, and even though I think the Lakers will make the playoffs through the play-in tournament. Now, do they deserve it? No, because I think that it's a stupid concept, and it should be how it was, the top 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that is stupid as well, because I mean, teams go really hard to make the top 8, and you're telling me that the potential 11th seed can make the playoffs? Like, you're a bottom 4 team of your conference, and they can make the playoffs? Like, that's ridiculous. They're a bottom 8 team in the whole NBA, and you can still make the playoffs.
It's almost like they can like still like tank, and take players off, and then be like, you know what, screw it, we can rest LeBron 4 games or some shit and say he was injured, and even if we lose all 4, guess what, we're stuck in 10th place. Regularly, you'd be like, no, we can't do that because we have to make the top 8. So it is a dumb concept, but I recognize a lot of other like leagues that kind of have that kind of similar style, like the Mexican soccer league, La Liga BBVA. They also do that now too, where if you're in the top 12, you can still qualify for the playoffs, and it's kind of like, that's such a dumb concept.
Yeah, but I feel like in soccer it's wilder because like the worst team can beat the best team on any given week in soccer. And on basketball, you usually have your consensus better team.
On basketball, and it's also like it's also a toss up because the worst team can beat the best team, and a lot of times, and we've seen it. Remember, the one where it was the Toronto Raptors that beat the Warriors. Everybody was applauding that because they finally wanted to see the Warriors lose with Kevin Durant. But what happened in that series? The only reason that the Raptors won was because KD and Klay Thompson went down in injuries, and it was like back-to-back games. You know what I mean? So stuff can, whatever reason, a nasty fall, a collision, maybe people get entangled and then they get tossed out. So basketball can be really fun in that respects, that anything can really happen. Of course, you're not wishing any injury on any players because that's terrible.
But that's like another reason playing in tournament is bad, because like you're gonna have these 2 teams playing their hearts out trying to make the playoffs, and then once they make the playoffs, if one of your players gets injured, well, you're gonna have to play that 7-game series without him. So like the play-ins is just another extra game that I feel like shouldn't even be there. But I mean,
it's just one.
Yeah, it's only 1 game.
Okay.
But I mean, let's move on from the NBA. I want to talk more about March Madness, seeing how March already started and the tournament's about to start. I think a strong favorite of mine is obviously going to be Alabama, even though I don't like them. I've been watching all their games recently, and they're just too good.
I just say I hate how Alabama's basketball program, is right now rivaling their football program as being one of the top in the country. Like, give us all the rest of the country a chance, Alabama. They're just eating it up with all their sports. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I think I'm looking forward to this March Madness tournament, but who do you think is going to win? Who has a good chance of winning the whole tournament, you think?
I want to say Arkansas, but ever since their players went down, their star players went down, it sucks because I think they could have, they didn't make it to Elite 8, taking down, like, what was it? Last time they took out was the number 1 seed?
They took down the 1 seed
Gonzaga at that point. And it's like, I feel like they can do wonders. And I'll still ride with Arkansas. Hopefully they can make it far. Realistically, after looking at it all, I mean, Houston has to be a strong favorite. Alabama,
Kansas, UCLA, Marquette,
even though Kansas lost, Texas, who beat Kansas.
Texas is a solid team this year.
Baylor.
Auburn beat Tennessee today, and Auburn almost beat Alabama the other week. So that's a good one.
There are a lot of
Marquette is a defensive-oriented team. So I'm looking forward to that.
There are a lot of good teams. If I were a betting man and put money on it, you know what? I would probably choose UCLA. Mm-hmm. I'm taking UCLA.
The one team I hope loses in the first round is Purdue. I just don't like Purdue in anything. Don't ask me why. I just don't like Purdue. Purdue, but shout out Purdue Owl. I use them for my citations.
This man. Yeah, but if I had to choose any team to go all the way, it would be UCLA. But I hope that Arkansas can make some magic happen, and that's all it is with March Madness. Again, the what would it be, like the 32 seed or something like that could take down the 1 seed.
That's 16
or 16 or yeah, something like that. Like the top team can go down. Mm-hmm. They can. We've seen it happen.
Some fairy tale runs even.
That's how stars are born, because everyone likes a good underdog.
Like, that's how John Morant came up.
Yeah, everybody loves a good underdog. If you can take down the number 1 seed and be like, oh my gosh, look at this team, and it's like their star player who had 30 points, da da da, and they start, fantasizing, can they do it win the next game, and then just this whole thing builds around them. Really looking forward to it. Again, I'm not so sure. You have, the top 5: Houston, Alabama, Kansas, UCLA, Purdue. As of today, I mean, they all have a great chance. Houston only losing 2 games this season so far. That's wild.
Alabama's the champs of the SEC.
And the SEC is usually always the hardest conference. I'm not sure about basketball. I would say not about basketball, yeah. But
it's like the Big 12 is always really good in basketball.
Gonzaga's 10th this time.
Not Pac-12. Is it Pac-12? Yeah, it's the Pac-12. Or Pac-10. I don't even know. Whatever. Kansas's conference. That
conference. And look at the AP top 25, and I'm fairly surprised that I don't see either Duke nor North Carolina.
No, but they're going to be in the tournament.
They will be in the tournament. Yeah. And you always look out for them. They tend to shine in those tournaments as well, Which one was the one I was looking forward to seeing on this list that, of course they wouldn't be on here. The Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame.
Notre
Dame's not good in basketball.
No, but, it'd be kind of nice to see.
Yeah, but they're an independent school, so basketball's not really their thing. It's usually teams in strong conferences that'll make it in, like SEC, Kansas conference, whatever the hell they're called. I don't know. I forgot, like the Pac-12, Pac-10, Big 10, Big 12, whatever they are. But yeah, I mean, me and my brother really only know about the SEC because of freaking college football, how dominant the SEC is. But I think the strong favorites for me is probably going to be Alabama, sadly.
Right. It's the Big 12.
Yeah, Big 12. Yeah, the Big 12 conference is crazy loaded. And then what is the Pac-10 looking like? It's like all the way into P's. It's one of the further conferences. And I know in the Missouri Valley, Bradley one, the Pac-12 is loaded as well. Absolutely loaded. And then Southeast Central, which is the SEC. Southeastern, it's just going to be called that. Southern. Yeah, look at that. Freaking Alabama went 16-2 in conference play. Ridiculous.
Missouri's not doing too bad. 23.
Yeah, and then Arkansas continues to blunder.
19-12. No,
but they're 8-10 in conference play, which sucks.
Yeah. And a 3-game losing streak so far right now as well.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad because
the Wildcats have been going crazy though.
Kentucky, 21-10. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be one of those. I'm not sure if there's like a very clear favorite, unless I guess you might go with Alabama or Houston.
Alabama, Houston, Texas, Kansas.
I think you can never go wrong going against with rooting for Kansas.
Kansas won last year.
Yeah, so I don't think you can ever go wrong with rooting for Kansas. I think Kansas will always have a good shot. I mean, it will surprise me whenever Arkansas almost lost to them in the bowl game, because I was like, Kansas is a basketball school, and then I'm like, Arkansas, what are you doing, bro? One of those things, but. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We might even do some podcasts after some very interesting games, covering that. I mean, as you can tell, we like sports. Yeah. All right, and now to wrap it up, we're gonna end it off with our segment of Artist of the Week, Song of the Week. Any particular artist you've been listening to lately? I think I'm gonna start it off with shouting out my homie J Saw One, or just J Saw, dropping his album For You, his debut album, not studio album, just his own project. And I'd recommend you guys listen to Bath and Body. Definitely one of the better songs off that project. What about you? Personal favorite on that one. Yeah, for sure. A shout out to Jay Saw. A close friend of ours. Make sure to go out and support. Catch him out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everything. Very, very gifted dude. And as far as artists, like what I've been listening to a lot of country. I've been listening to a lot of country this week. I don't know what it was about, what it was in the air, or whatever, but I just caught a feel for country, and that's what I've been jamming this week. And I would say for as far as artists, probably Luke Combs. Oh yeah, well, I mean, if we're going like a big artist, then I think my artist of the week is gonna be Nas. I've been listening to Nas, Illmatic again. It's really good.
I recommend you guys listen to "Life's a Bitch" off of it, or pretty much "Life's a Bitch." Probably my favorite song on that whole project. Nas, obviously, hip hop legend, one of the goats. If you haven't heard about him, then I recommend you go out there and listen to him. Obviously, he has some of the best wordplay, amazing flow, amazing beats. And I don't really listen to country, so I'm gonna let my brother talk about his country thing if he wants to.
I've just been listening, like I said, a lot of country. I Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, a big one. He's gonna be around this area soon. Tyler Childress as well. I'll kick it with some Florida Georgia Line or Miranda Lambert, Luke Bryan, Keith Urban. Our artists, I have a big playlist. Like I said, this is what I've been jamming out to. As far as anything else goes, with that, I can't really recall. I've been, like I said, since For You dropped, I've been bumping, trying to get those numbers up for Bath and Body, but it is a personal favorite of mine for that album. Once again, listen to it, you won't regret it. But this has been the Gifted Podcast with me, your co-host Leo,
and Christian, and thank you guys for listening.